Okay, let's unfold that. Lower it, turn it on. Meow. Oh, so this should be a much better yield than last time. Sadly, I don't know how many bales we made last time. Oh yes, I do. I think we ended up with 48 silage bales off of 2 fields and a bunch of hay off the other one. I can't remember how much hay we've used up. But we should end up with a lot more this time. Because the land needed to be ploughed, it needed to be lined, it needed to be fertilised. And this time round we have pretty much taken care of all of that. So no penalties and the full 65% bonus. At least a good proportion of a 65% bonus. I think there's a couple of points on some of the fields where we didn't quite get the lime completely covering it. Don't do that. So someone brought out a mod for a smaller version of this mower, which would probably be more suitable for this tractor. This looks way out of balance. A little 2-meter mower would probably look more reasonable on it. However, it would take us longer to mow anything. So I'll make do now. Plus, we'll be increasing the capabilities of our fieldwork tractors such that we'll probably end up selling this mower and getting the full Pottinger or Lely single front and a butterfly mower at the back. Heck, if I could really stretch to it, we could go for a Chrome Big N, Big X, whatever it is. Since most of our mowing is in windrow form to create grass bales, I'm not averse to just buying one piece of equipment when we can afford it, but that could be a long way off because we're not exactly raking in the cash here. Huh? Yeah, I missed a little stretch. Oh, what? Straw? Yes. Because it's more than it's less than a bale's worth. So the way I was looking at it is, if I fill that, if I pick that up it's going to load into the baler, and then when we start picking up grass, the first bale out is going to be straw, regardless of how much grass we pick up. I kind of want to maximise our grass. Plus, it's only going to be sold anyway, so... We made, what, about 4,000 euros on the deal. So, not a big problem. Plus, we did actually get an extra bale of grass out, because there was grass left in the baler from the last time we used it. So we got an extra grass bale. Okay. We'll finish off the bottom. And then we'll finish off the top of the field. The one problem with this mower is it makes no attempt to windrow anything. So, not that you can, you can't mount it on the front of anything, so you couldn't put a loading wagon or a baler on the back of your tractor anyway. It is kind of handy to be able to sometimes skip the windrowing. Nearly done. And that bit there. We'll run back up to the top of the field. Oh! What, this thing? Where is it? This one. Yeah, I played around with that one. It used to windrow quite nicely in 17. It doesn't windrow now. And so, good evening Whitehawk, and good evening Major Brunk Rabby Patty. Welcome to the channel. Back down again, turn it on, and finish off mowing this field. And thanks for the follow, Major. So I'm kind of thinking, a lot of people say horses are a good source of income, and I kind of agree with them, except you have to wait 10 game days before the horse is ready to sell for full value. And in that time, you can pull in 5 or more harvests. Oh, we're making a lot of our money from selling grass silage bales just across the street. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, it's kind of, I mean, in a way, it's kind of like, what was it, Wool was in Farm Sim 17, where, okay, I've got a bunch of sheep, all I've got to do is drop grass in their trough every few days and water in the trough every few days, and they're just going to make me grass bales, and every so often there's going to be a great demand for wool. So I'm going to load up a flatbed trailer full of wool, and I'm going to sell the pallets for, I mean, it was 2,000 litres a pallet, so 7,000 monetary units per pallet, or per 1,000 litres. So you were bringing in a good 15,000 per wool pallet that you sold. And it was kind of a windfall income. So it was something, it was nice to have every so often. But it wasn't a constant income like crops are. I missed a bit. Might as well get that done as well. Yeah, and that's kind of how I look at it. There are, as I said, there are windfall income that happens every, in the case of, did I really miss that again? We're not going to bother then. In the case of horses, every 10 days you're going to be getting some income off them, or a good sized amount of income. With sheep in Farm Sim 17, it was a random event, but good to have. I mean, with any game, your mileage may vary. As an example, I'm into trains, but I don't think, at least when Microsoft bought out Train Sim many years ago, I thought Train Sim is, well, what's the challenge? Because you just follow the tracks. And I bought Train Sim and decided, it is fun, because while you have no control about where your train's going, you do have to control the time it gets there and where to drop stuff. This is another game kind of like that. It's a complete sandbox. There's nothing you have to do, and the whole aim of the game is just make money by planting crops and harvesting crops and not letting your crops die, and etc, etc. It kind of teaches you a little bit about farming. Obviously it's a game, it's not real life, so it does take liberties with how farming happens in the real world, but it does give you a point of reference as to appreciate that's where my food comes from. And it's kind of fun. You get to drive a tractor around a field doing stuff, or a harvester, or whatever is on the menu for the day. So today I have when we last played, we had a bunch of crops ready to harvest, so we had to go out, get the harvester and bring the crops in. We did that, and Mrs. Oseh is currently ploughing those fields in preparation to plant some more crops, and I'm cutting the grass. I'm just running now. I'm not running with the horse helper mod, and I'm only running a 2-horse paddock. So I'm having 2 horses every 10 days. And I'm kind of using it as a sort of a sightseeing event. I can go out and I can ride around the map and explore places whilst working on generating income for the farm. Now, the other thing with this particular map, Major, this is a very pretty map, but the work area is very tight. So we're running this farm on 2 of the smallest tractors available in the game. They're actually mod tractors, but the base model is available in the game. The mod version has a higher horsepower engine available, which is what we're running on both of them. But let's go and... So I have 2 of these. They're kind of tiny. They've got nothing at the front. They've got power attachment at the back, or yeah, full attachment at the back. Now you can go all the way up to let's see, this beast, which is over 500 horsepower, has a huge great linkage at the back, folds in the middle. You can have triple tyres on it, although probably not wise if you're playing in European maps because they're small. So you can choose any map that's available, either in-game or mod. This is a mod map that suits your style, so if you're into big tractors, big harvesters, big fields, you can play that. If you're into something a little bit smaller, you can do that too. So this is a tiny farm at the moment with small tractors and fairly small equipment. And you'll find probably a lot of my streams do feature very small farms. Because within 15-20 minutes I can complete working a field, whereas with a big farm it can take you up to 2 hours, even with big equipment, to work a field. And I kind of think that's possibly a little bit boring for a viewing audience if all I'm doing is driving a harvester up and down a field for 2 hours, bringing in the crop. Whereas, constantly moving around doing different tasks throughout a stream is possibly more interesting, I think. And who's that? Hale Team has subscribed for his 4th month. Hey Hale, how you doing? Thanks for the subscription. And the nice thing about where we are at the moment, we started this farm, I've got to say, about 25 hours ago. And yeah, it's been going for 25 hours. 2 players. And so we've harvested all the fields twice. This grass cut is the 2nd harvest. And we got a couple of horses. We bought all of the equipment and buildings at the start of the show with, I think we start with 1.25 million, of which 250,000 is loan. And we now have all of the equipment that we need to operate this farm. Now, it would be nicer to have a bigger tractor, it would be nicer to have larger seeders, larger plows, but we're kind of limited to how big a seeder or plow we can run because of the size of our tractors. So we've got to get bigger tractors before we can get bigger equipment. But also bigger equipment doesn't maneuver as well around these fields. So I'm always going to keep a small tractor around, and I'm probably going to keep all the small equipment we have and just enhance it with a big tractor with larger equipment that we can use on larger fields as we get them. And we'll slowly expand the farm that way. But right now the farm is in profit making mode. We are going to make money because I don't have to buy anything else. Oh, hey Bimpin, how you doing? Yeah, we kind of had a hectic weekend this weekend, so didn't end up streaming yesterday or Friday night. But that's hectic weekend out of the way for another 3 weeks. So we got a bunch of farms to catch up on. Oh, plus we had a vacation the weekend before. And so I haven't done any streams for weekends for 2 weeks now. Yeah! I've been missing Lawfolds too. We're just coming up to winter on that one. I think when I last... It's been so... Yeah, like you say, it's been about 2 weeks, and when we last left off, I think we were at the end of day 5. And pretty much getting ready for the last grass cut of the year on that map, and also preparing a couple of fields for probably winter wheat. I think I haven't done that yet. We got the barley planted and we got the canola planted. We can't plant soybeans or corn until the end of spring, early summer. I missed a bit. I don't have a choice. Mrs. Oseh says we're going on holiday, we're going on holiday. Plus we have to visit the in-laws every so often. And there is also the potential, maybe sometime next year, visiting the UK to visit my family, which we haven't seen now for about... Were we in this house when they came here last? Yeah, so probably 6 years. Okay, that's done. But for this year, we're kind of limited what we can do. Oh, actually, let's do the outer ring of that patch as well. because we're foster parents, we've got a couple of foster kids that we're looking at adopting. We can only go out of state with permission of the courts. And leaving the country is not on the cards right now, but it would be a good plan if we adopt the kids for my parents to meet them. There we go. Left to fold and turn it off. There we go. Okay, one last field to mow. And then what? How's your ploughing? Oh, cool. This is our technically fourth field. It's one of those fields is tiny. Well, because they're wards of court, the costs of adoption on this case is filing fee, I think, which we get refunded, or at least part of it refunded. Yeah, if you go in for private adoption, then you're paying all sorts of bills and stuff. But these are kids who've been taken out of a dangerous situation, and basically the county doesn't want to look after them for the rest of their lives, or at least until they're 18. So that then means that if someone is willing to take the kids off the county's hands, the county is basically saying, sure, we'll pay all the adoption costs, because that's however many years until the kid grows up, that we don't have to support that kid anymore on limited county funds. So it's kind of mutually beneficial to the state and to adoptive parents. I mean, obviously the problem is you don't get a brand new kid, and most of the kids going through social services are troubled in some way. So, there can be a lot of issues that you have to work through. But it is cheaper. It didn't get cut. I might go back around the field the other way to get that straight. I try to be. Sometimes you end up with kids that are a big handful. When I was talking to a couple of foster parents who said, I was talking to a colleague who has some friends who's foster parents, and the foster kid they had tried to set fire to the garage because he didn't like what they served him for breakfast. I think the worst we've had is a 6-year-old who decided that he wanted to mark out his territory like a dog does. And that was probably the hardest thing we've had to put up with so far. We had one girl who had learning difficulties, but she was only with us for a month, and we knew at the start it was short term. But she was kind of fun. But really, that sort of thing, really not something I can contemplate at my age, because we're over 50. So we can take young kids right now, and there's a good chance we'll still be alive when they leave home. But, 4 or 5 years down the road, there's no way we're really not in the position to take a newborn, because that's a lot of work for us now on aging bodies, and also potentially someone who's going to need us, and we're not going to be able to provide the support as we get very old. Okay, you take care, Benpin, and I'll probably catch you later in the week. But a child with learning difficulties is really going to be a burden on a family for most of their life, and we don't have most of our life left to live. Okay, put that away. Grab the cedar. That's the green and orange thing there. The wide one. Oh, you've never seeded before? Ah. Well, you could go and get the windmill.
Yeah, that's quick. Ferris wheel you need?
Yeah. Otherwise known as the windrower. Huh? Okay. Okay. So Mrs. Oseh is going to pick up rowing the grass to make it easier to bale. And while you can bale it in this state, it's a lot easier to bale when it's in rows. So I will probably grab the seeder next, and we can run around seeding our 2 arable fields with whatever. Like I said, probably canola. Don't need straw. And having a bunch of canola, it's kind of good. It's a good profitable crop. Doesn't use a lot of seed to plant it. I am on a PC, yes. Now, there was a bit over here that we missed because of the ground camber. There it is. Bing, done. And we'll take this back to the barn.
You just unfold it and you lower it.
You unfold it, lower it, and turn it on. are going to need a maintenance shop sometime. I may put it next to where that trailer is. For now. We'll clean off the main deck so the grass doesn't rot it out. Okay, that's all done. We can put that away. Drive. And reverse. Oh. Nearly messed that up. So that's our tedder, which we're not going to use this time. Drop that off.